talk to me about it. And he continues.
Hey everybody, we're live.
Gifts from where he is now.
In the background is Ryan Coogler, creator and director of Sinners before the press.
Next question in the room, number 299.
The Oscars press room. And
hello, 299.
How's it going?
Thanks for everybody's support.
Thank you. We're so proud of you, as we all are. I would love to talk about the idea that Sinners is being taught as curriculum. And as you think of, especially because you're a history buff and an education buff, what would you want to be taught about Sinners as a whole if we're looking at it as a class?
That's a great question.
I'll be honest with you.
It's a great question.
I'm not smart enough to teach college. I think that I have so much respect for professors at any capacity. I got young kids, and I watch their teachers. And I'm just fascinated by how they can get anything done. With the babies.
Hey everybody, how you doing? It's Ryan Coogler in the background. He's talking.
An English professor, a creative writing professor at St. Mary's College named Rosemary Graham.
Oh, St. Mary's.
Something that I wrote. It was the first assignment when I was 17 years old.
St. Mary's, Oakland.
My freshman year, read something I wrote and said, "Hey, I think you should go to Hollywood and write screenplays." Literally said that to me. So I got nothing but the
inspiration
for anybody who's dedicating their life towards the future generations and making sure their mind is solid.
Absolutely.
And I'll leave it in their hands. If they ever want to take my film and teach a class on it, man, God bless them. I don't think they'll know how to do it best.
Thank you so much and congratulations.
Oh, thank you. I'm out.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Oh, he's out. He's about. He's funny. Oh my gosh, I can't believe that. And they have this Oscars, backdrop, and there's nobody there at the mic. They're expecting someone else to come up, and I would think there would be more media there that would have questions for him, right? Which is kind of odd the way they handled it. I get, but on the other hand, in fairness to the Oscar people, they also have a limited slot of time. I believe it's equal for everybody, so you might want to, actually, is it equal? Because I remember there was the fellow that won. I have to research that because it seemed like to me, the gentleman that won an award for the sentimental movie got a little bit more time than Ryan. But maybe that's just my imagination. In the background, this is the governor's ball post. There's two types of governor's events. The one during the awards season, really kicked just before the awards season. And then there's this event, the governor's ball after the Oscars. Okay, but I want to know what you thought about the Oscars. You can write your comments in, or if you want to say something and get on camera, I extend your invitation to do that right here. All you have to do is here's the invite guest copy right here, and I'll put it there, and then and there it is. Okay, so you can actually go to that strip and use that strip to put yourself on camera here, and I'll bring you in, and you'll have something sensible and thought-provoking to say. All right. Miss Carmen says, "I knew they were not going to let Sinners win Best Picture." Let's talk about that. Because I felt like, as much as you don't want to think that, my hope when this whole thing started was, first of all, this was a lot different than The Color Purple and Steven Spielberg to me in 1995, right? Because The Color Purple got 11 Oscars, and yet it received, 11 Oscars. What am I talking about? The Color Purple got, hey, that's me. The Color Purple got 11, right. Oh, Miss Carmen, I hear you. Hear me out. The Color Purple got, what's going on is I can hear myself in the background as my mom is playing me. So that's okay, Mom. It's kind of cute. But anyway, The Color Purple got 11 Academy Award nominations, all right? And nominations. And the difference is that then The Color Purple was path-breaking. It was also a kind of almost like The Godfather, but the cast was, African American. It had everything except a black director and a black producer. It was Steven Spielberg, right? And it was a controversial story and blah, 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 blah. But it was also 1995, if memory serves correctly. This time, look, Ryan Coogler, don't forget, Ryan Coogler got Best Picture for Black Panther. All right? I repeat, Ryan Coogler got Best Picture for Black Panther. Black Panther also had the most nominations of any film for the year that Black Panther came out. All right? Black Panther got, it didn't get Best Director, which I thought was like, yeah, okay? It nailed the technical awards. All right? Just, whew, okay? So Black Panther was, in a number of ways, a cinematic tour de force. No question about it. And so if you're not paying attention and you're looking at it, like I'm an Oscar junkie, going all the way back to 1972, okay? So this started off to feel kind of like that, and I thought, then I thought, you know what? I've been around enough to be able to spot change and know that's there. PTA is Paul Thomas Anderson. Now, why do I call him PTA? Because Tom Cruise, here's Michael B. Jordan. He's before the press. Let me shut up for a second. Michael B's got some stuff to say. Hold on a second. He's getting his accolades. You can hear it in the background. They're just going nuts. Yes, sir. I call him Oscar Grant because he's Oscar Grant.
First question for in the room, number 394.
394. Who's 394? Right. I got you, Miss Carter. Carter, sorry.
Hi. Congratulations on your Hard Hollywood Live. Okay, there's so many questions, but I'm going to ask you. I watched the film again last night before it came today. And I want to know, what kind of mental exercises did it take for you to create the nuances of the different personalities of these two characters?
Ooh, that's a great question.
Great question. Yeah.
I write a lot of journals. So for my characters, like backstories. So I try to go from like the earliest memory that I can conjure up and think of, and I write all the way up to the first page of the script. So at least gives me an opportunity to kind of figure out, like, where they're coming from, and that informs a lot of the decisions. But these particular characters, I did a lot of chopper work, on their childhood trauma, and to kind of differentiate the two of them. Smoke is is a bit more, he's quiet, he's a protector, and the Stack is a little bit more light and buoyant and a little bit of a slick talker and a troublemaker. So I tried to just establish different perspectives. They have an outstanding relationship for their entire lives. So just imagine you being in a partnership for 30 something years, how many times they would argue, how many times they would keep score on who's right and who's wrong. All these things I kind of just started to build up, and so they can have a history between each other. And those are the things that hopefully came to light in between the lines, those nuances between the two. And then there's some other things that it's probably like boring that you guys don't want to hear about, but that's a little bit of the work. I will. Thank you.
Next question for in the room, number 316.
Nathan J. Lee from the Los Angeles Sentinel. Michael, you make us proud, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Nathan Hale Williams, a fellow screenwriter, recently said in a video on Instagram, "Please stop telling Black people not to desire Oscars. As someone who just won tonight, what does this recognition mean to you and to other writers coming up?"
And,
Powerful question.
I feel like it feels timely. I feel like I said before, I'm here because of the people that came before me. Sydney and Denzel and Halle Berry and Forrest and all those actors who graced the stage, and not looking for awards, not looking for acknowledgement. They do work, and that's something I've always focused on, was trying to do the work. My father always told me, don't expect anything to be handed to you. Do the work, and everything else is going to figure itself out. And you know, there is a selfishness in understanding that in your craft, in your industry, this is a pinnacle, and this is what, you know, our industry stands. Mm-hmm. This is what we put value on in a big way. That competitiveness, you do want that, you know, but at the same time, there's a, you know, what's for you is for you, and you can't take anybody's blessings away from anybody else.
Right.
So I'm just like, right. My path, man.
Right. That's it.
I would encourage other actors.
Ms. Carmen, that's it. You can't take anybody's blessings away from them.
Their medium is,
that's a powerful statement.
Mind and be honest and truthful, and just, you know, do you know, dream big, man.
Yeah, you know, dream big. Bigger.
Be honest. I'm really big on like pouring into the universe, and the universe will pour back into you. That's how
as I say, thank God, you know. Thank you. Bless your blessings.
For in the room, number 380.
I want to know who made his suit. I like this suit.
Hi there, Michael. Congratulations.
Thank you.
My name is Nia Lucky. I'm with CBS News. And man, I mean, the amount of support you get is unreal. What does it mean to you to have so many people in your corner wanting to see you win?
It feels great, man. It feels
a lot of people want to be.
Yeah, yes, yeah. That's my mom.
Yeah, I've been extremely blessed in my life, you know. It's like when you know people are invested in you. I mean, I've been doing this for 25 years, you know, and there's a lot of people who see me grow up in this industry, grow up in this town. They looked out for me when they didn't have to. You know, they wanted me to do well when they didn't have to. You know, that goodwill, those guides, you know, from the assistants that are, you know, responding to my email, to whoever's, you know, opening the door for me to go inside, you know, to whatever office, to the, you know, producers who were taking general meetings with me over the years. You know, everybody, I always felt like people had a genuine support for me. And it makes me want to, you know, make people that you care about proud. My parents, Ryan, you know what I'm saying, my other collaborators, myself, you know, and also the kids that are coming up. I'm really big on the next generation. So trying to be an example. I'm not a big talker, but I'm about that action, you know what I'm saying? So I like to lead by example. Yeah.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, okay. Michael B. Jordan? Okay. All right. I thought, yeah. I can see why you wanted to keep that secret. And I knew he was in Oakland for a while because of Fruitvale Station, but I was under the impression he moved to LA or something like that. I don't know. Okay, sorry about that. That was Michael B. Jordan, and I was texting a certain person. Actually, I'll be honest with you. I know I became familiar with Michael B. Jordan, as many of you, because of Fruitvale Station. Fruitvale Station was the movie where he played Oscar Grant. Well, the person I just texted is Oscar Grant Jr., who's the father of Oscar Grant. And I wanted to know what he thought of Michael B. Jordan's performance in Sinners, you know, since he's very familiar with Jordan's work and knows him. So that's why I was texting. He's behind me, could be anywhere. Didn't expect an immediate answer. Could have had the presence of mind of, you know, reaching out to him earlier. I tried to get him on the program a bunch of times in the past. Our wires kept literally crossing. You know, he could do it one time and then the other, and then he'd call and back and forth. And I call him and it's like, you know. But Oscar Grant Jr. has been through a lot. And always keep him in my thoughts and prayers. So because of what his son went through and what he's went through, and I think continues to go through in his life. So there you
Number
go.
167.
Now we have Jessie Buckley won. Jessie Buckley won. Ms. Carmen, I haven't forgotten about your question. I've got a lot of sounds behind me, and I'm a little concerned about copyright getting into my live stream. So it's one moment. Could you make sure that Mom, that music might get into my video? That's what I'm concerned about. Thanks. Sorry about that. Because the Associated Press this is not a copyright thing here, because I'm using it as part of the broadcast. But anything that comes into it, that's music from another source, like, oh no, copyright. But I take that out. So anyway.
I woke up with her lying on my chest, snuggling me, and I feel like what a gift to get to, explore motherhood through this incredible mother that Agnes is and was, and then to become one myself, and then to receive this recognition of the incredible role mothers play in our world on this day is something I will never ever forget. Thank you.
Miss
Question from number 213.
Miss Carmen, I don't know if you're still there. I haven't forgotten your question. That's why I still have it up.
Hi, Jessie. I have an order for you.
So I wanted to respond to that. And she said,
by becoming the first Irish woman to win Best Actress. But what is your message for your family, your friends, your fans, all back home in Ireland and Kerry, who stayed up all night celebrating your win this evening? What's your message for them?
Don't go to bed. Keep partying. That's what I'm going to do. I'm so grateful for the support, and I feel the love, man. I feel it. I feel it from young people and old people, from women and men, and from my family. And to be here tonight with all my family who've literally flown in from New Zealand and Australia and Kerry and Dublin, that, makes it real. They're the people who built me, and to share this moment with them and know that back home are either drunk or staying up. I'm delighted for us all.
Final question, number 192.
That's you. Hello, you. Yeah, you're 192.
She doesn't know her own number. Me? It's money. Doesn't know her own number. The press person.
And Hamnet feels like a film audience will remember for its emotional depth and sensitivity. So how do you think this role will stay with you personally?
Well, I think all my roles stay with me. I don't ever want to let go of the incredible women that have really given me an education that I've been looking for as a woman. But I think this role cracked a kind of tenderness in me that sometimes if you're a strong woman, you're perceived as just being strong, but actually tenderness is as vibrant and strong as strength. And I think to know that through this woman, where she was able to hold the capacity of strength and vulnerability and tenderness and grief.
Has anyone seen Hamnet? I didn't.
Epic colors.
Haven't seen it yet, but I will.
Why would you ever want to let that go? It's something I want to hold on for the rest of my life. Thank you.
Yeah, okay.
Congratulations.
Anyway, I'm getting back to Miss Carmen's statement where she said she knew they were not going to let Sinners win Best Picture. Something else came to me that, for me, foreshadowed the possibility where, this didn't happen. And I think that was, let's see if I turn this back down. And it was the revelation that Ryan Coogler wasn't a member of the Academy. And my reaction was, well, wait a minute. Was he invited? Well, yeah. Conan O'Brien had said that he was, hold on a second. At any rate, what I was saying is that I had the feeling that, oh, here's now PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, just in time.
This is cool.
Saying this is he's with, and I'll get back to your question.
First question, 197.
197.
Congratulations. Case reader with Access Hollywood. They say that winning Best Picture, it tells the temper of
Access Hollywood.
So how does this one
Access Hollywood's been terminated. It's true. Access Hollywood. Remember that? Yeah. Well, still there.
Partying.
Is that what the background?
I think that our film obviously.
I'll tell you later. I just want to get
Our film obviously has a certain amount of parallels to what's happening in the news every day.
You mean it's
so
his
it
film?
obviously reflects what's happening.
Well,
in the
you're asking
world
about his film?
in terms of where it's going. I don't know,
That with the black
but
guy.
I know that the end of our movie
No.
is our hero Willa heading off to continue to fight against evil forces. And I think, like I said in my speech, Brim, at least common sense and decency back into fashion. Thank you very much. I know I still haven't gotten one yet.
Next question, number 140 in the room.
Congratulations to you, Mark Williams here from the Award Nerds newsletter in the back. Your arm hits. Congratulations. So it has been, dare we say, a kind of a diverse Oscars in terms of the spreading of the wealth, especially in the crafts.
That's true. That's true.
And I wanted to ask you about some of the craft collaborations, because you had such long-standing collaborations, and how that helps you bring to life a vision, especially with source material as complex as a Pynchon novel.
Well,
Good question.
I've been doing this long enough to tell you that the reason I continue to do it is because of the people that I collaborate with. It's probably not very fashionable to say that you don't do it for awards or anything else, but honest to God, the thing that gets me really excited about making films is collaborating with people. It's now number one, on my list. Maybe when you start out, you think you just, whatever else you're after, you just want to be in the movies. But as you get older and you do it, the only reason to do it is to be with people.
Final question is number 360. Please stand up and state your outlet name. Hi, Engineer Perkins Tough Post. Congrats tonight on your plan. My question is about the film. Some audience conversations around One Battle After Another have pointed out the racial politics and conversations around, the portrayal of Black female characters. How do you respond to how people have interpreted and critiqued race in the film?
Well, I know a little bit about that critique. I know that Tiana has talked about it a lot. I know that we have the portrayal of many different characters, in particular her character, who is so flawed and unfortunately makes decisions that are detrimental to the revolution that she's trying to fight. It's complicated. We always knew that we were trying to make something complicated. We knew that we were making something that was heroic. And we needed to lean into that, and we needed to own the fact that this woman was suffering not only from postpartum depression, but she had issues of her own that she hadn't really reconciled with. It's a very dangerous thing when you start out, you want to change the world, but you start to kind of become selfish, and you read your own reviews. That was our hero in Perfidia, who becomes an anti-hero. The point of it is to set up the story of Willa, the next generation. What happens when your parents, who are damaged and have handed quite a difficult history to you? How do you manage that? That's our story, and our story is in Chase and her evolution to like I talked about in terms of the generational aspect, to try to do better.
Thank you so much, and congratulations.
Oh, you go. Yeah, I'm not familiar with that argument. I have to research. So anyway, I wasn't familiar with that, Ms. Carmen. But let me get back to your question regarding your response regarding Sinners. And I think, again, I can't, hold on a second. Oh, Ms. Carmen. Anyway, Ms. Carmen again asks, she says, I knew they were not going to let Sinners win Best Picture. And what I was going to say is that Ryan had openly said, according to Conan O'Brien, that he rejected being a member of the Academy. And I remember I said this, I'm watching my mom here. I said it to you, I think, that it may have hurt Sinners' ability to gain votes that would eventually lead to an Oscar in certain categories that it would have gotten under normal circumstances. I don't know, but I thought that Conan saying it and choosing to say it out loud before a public audience was in itself controversial and pointed, and I thought communicated a certain kind of political issue in the background that wasn't being talked about much. Was he being dinged for not being an Academy member when all of his other competitor directors and producers were members of the Academy? And it is a heck of a statement to make at a time when, look, my relationship, if you will, with the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences spans several different perspectives. First of all, spectator, since I was 10 years old, and then a media person since 2010. Okay, so and even consultant to a publicist. All right, so my point, so that's three different perspectives, and what I come away with is that we as Black folks really strive to be part of an institution, even though technically we already are. Any person who's American is automatically part of the institution. Where the fence appears is when you perceive yourself, sometimes for very real reasons like racism, sometimes because you don't believe you can get there, right? As being outside of the gate. And I could proudly say that I've been inside the gate. I've as press for the Oscars, at press conferences, at red carpets. I know what it's like to be treated inappropriately by some people. I know what it's like for other people in the system to come to my defense. I might give you an example. I can say this, it's happened way back. I was in my first Academy Awards as a press person, and I got an Oscars setup credential for that week. Managed to get on the red. That actually gets you on the red carpet the morning of the Oscars and to the middle of the Oscars. All right. And so anyway, I get out of the cab. I fell, thought I died, didn't, made it to the press conference. All the people are like, "Oh my God, we heard what happened. We got you okay and everything. You're fine." This is actually on video here on my YouTube channel, Zenny62. If you type Oscars, Zenny fell, right? There, all right. At any rate, when I got to the then director of communications, Leslie Unger, her first words weren't, "Hey, Zenny, I'm glad you're okay. Hey, I heard what happened. It wasn't our fault." All right. And she did a pretty good job through her time as director of communications until her last year of making me feel like an outsider. And so my thought was, how do you get around that? My simple reaction was, A, don't confront her. B, do your job. C, make sure that your end of the bargain is taken care of. In other words, you're producing content. We didn't call it content then. You're working on, your posts. You're interviewing people. You're asking for what you're supposed to get when you get it. You're being professional, right? You're taking care of what your corporate objectives are, because I'm CEO of a company. I started, we're Delaware C Corp now, and in part because of experiences like that. But my point is that you have to, in order to get there, I got there because I asked, because I didn't just say, hey, put me in the Oscars because I'm Black. I didn't do that. I cold called the Academy Awards and I said, in 2009, I said, I recited my video statistics, how many websites I had, the whole 9 yards, okay? And the person who answered the phone at the academy said, oh my God, yeah, you should be in here. That's how it happened, okay? They had no idea what I looked like or anything. This is on the phone, all right? They had no idea what I looked like. And then I thought, okay, I'm too late to get an Oscar credential for the Oscar day, right? Because it was an idea I had on a lark. And so I looked around and I heard about these things called Oscar parties. And I called a fellow named Edward Losey, who was he was running something called the Night of Wonder Stars Oscar Party. And I gave him the same spiel. We had a great conversation. We hit it off like that, like that. And so Ed said, well, hey, look, come to the Night of Wonder Stars Oscar Party. He did. And Zenny 62 Media, we started off first the Sports Business Simulations. And then I used my brand name, Zenny the very next year. But Zenny 62 Media was part of the Night of Wonder Stars Oscars press list from that point all the way to 2017, which was the last year of the Night of Wonder Stars Oscar Party. And during that span, I got to interview everybody from Sean Young, remember from No Way Out, to Richard Dreyfuss, who was introduced to me by a friend of mine, Marla Schumann, John Voight, Lou Ferrigno. Wow. I interviewed Richard Dreyfuss twice. The late Martin Landau. Remember Martin Landau from Mission Impossible? I have a list of people that I've interviewed that I have actually, believe it or not, I haven't made a full list of, and I need to. I mean, isn't that criminal? But it's long. It includes Harry Hamlin from, remember, L.A. Law. It includes people who were on, like Lady Natalie. She was on American Horror Story. It includes the man who played in Forrest Gump, Bubba, remember Bubba in Forrest Gump? Interviewed him and his wife, terrific people. It also includes David. This gentleman, he's got a booming voice, and he was at one point the voice for BMW. He was the voice in he was, sorry about that, folks. He was the voice of in Swarm in that broadcasts, and David, it's going to come to me when I'm not thinking about him. Well, anyway, also, if you remember David Leisure was the guy who did the Joe Isuzu commercials. My point is that when you get to interview those celebrities, you get to a point like, for example, Jake Busey. Jake Busey is Gary Busey's son. I also interviewed Gary Busey. All right, the late Ed Asner. My point is, you get to a point where they start to recognize you, and that means you're in. That means that you're part of the Hollywood ecosphere of celebrities because you're covering them, and they expect you to know who they are and also to know what they're doing. And there are a lot of people who specialize. They can recognize a name or somebody in a second. They can tell you without even looking at Google what they're involved in, what they're going to be involved in next. They just know this. They just there's one guy I got to know. He acted like a jerk at first, I thought, but he was just a dude who knew his stuff, and his mind was always going. And we became friends. All right, that's what you get involved in. And my point is that you've got to be involved in that and not think, hey, there's nobody black here. it's up to you to be you. And you have to really force who you are just by being yourself, okay, in order to move in there. Sometimes things are going to go wrong, but you can't get caught up in whether or not it's about what you look like. Even if it is, you have to be the person strong enough to move to the next chapter in what you're doing during that time and get it done. Meet the people you want to meet, exchange contacts, okay, and keep moving on. Otherwise, you lose. All right. And it's all too easy to get around like-minded people, what you think of like-minded people, and say, oh, it's somebody else's fault. When in point of fact, it's how you choose to look at it. And sometimes that's really what it is. Some people I found are just having a bad day, and maybe they come off the wrong way. But if you decide that you're going to make the right comments to get them back on center, guess what? They'll become your friend for life. All right. That's been my lesson. I'm not saying there isn't racism. There is. But what's beautiful about how we've transformed because of digital media and because of communications over time and because of this giant mirror we have to see ourselves as being really, really buttholes or not, because of it, we can adjust to that really quickly and we can advance really quickly. And we can get people, we can put the light on people who are really, truly bad. That's the beauty of it. All right. And you have to have faith in the Lord. You have to want to pray. You have to believe, because if you don't, it can easily go sideways, both in your head and in reality. I hope that makes sense, Miss Carmen. Now, as far as what I'm saying, I'm going to say this two ways. I said it before and I'll say it again. Yeah, maybe that political issue did affect sinners. I'm not sure. But maybe also it's that PTA, Paul Thomas Anderson, was known by a lot of people who were very important for a long time. I mean, a long time. Made a number of really great, incredible movies that for a long time never made it to the Academy's lens, where they're being nominated again and again and again. And only recently did it become his time. Sometimes things just, as Michael B. Jordan was saying, you can't deny somebody else their blessing. And you have to be careful when you are, in this day and age, saying that maybe you're denying somebody else their blessing. The beauty of being alive now is there's a lot of people who will tell you they believe in the Lord. They're not shy about it, and they walk it. And when you believe, truly believe, things do happen. I don't want to take off on this for a long time, but I could. Things do happen for you, but you gotta believe, and you have to be willing to not let other people shame you for how you feel about yourself. Somebody is jealous about your path. They'll say, oh, you've got a big ego. Don't pay attention to that. That's happened to me. But the whole point is, yeah, I do have a large ego. But guess what? I love other people who have large egos too. That's just the way that I am. Okay? That's the way that I am. So, and Miss Carmen says it felt the same to me as far as, yeah. And again, to close out, and I hope now I've answered your question here, that I understand what you're saying. I really do. But on the other hand, Ryan and Sinners were part of an extraordinarily good group of people in films. And I was saying to my mom again about Frankenstein, that's one of my favorite films, period. I've only seen it once. I always thought, I'll see it again, but I've got a lot on my plate, so it's hard to just sort of sit down and watch it. But trust me, it is a heck of an intricate film, and it catches you by surprise. If you're interested in what you think is going to be a typical horror film, this is not that. It has a lot of the characteristics of A Shape of Water, in that what you think is the monster isn't really a monster at all. In The Shape of Water, no surprise, was produced and directed by Guillermo del Toro, right? So there's a lot of that in there. Let me go through the other winners as far as the Oscars list is up here. And I'll go through with you quickly out of respect for your time, and go over who won what, and in basically how many of those you know, if we're by one particular organization or not. And here is the winners list right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go back to the top. I also get the Oscar press releases. I have access to the Oscar press kit because again, I've been on this thanks to the Academy since 2010, and this is what 2026. That's a long time. So let's see here. What we've got here. All right, let me go all the way up. Okay, so you start with actor in a leading role, and of course, the winner was Michael B. Jordan, who beat out Timothée Chalamet from Marty Supreme, Leonardo DiCaprio from One Battle After Another, Ethan Hawke for Blue Moon, and Wagner Moura for The Secret Agent. Then there's actor in a supporting role, and that was Sean Penn for One Battle After Another. And the nominees were Benicio Del Toro for the same movie, Jacob Elordi for Frankenstein. Again, I thought he should have walked away from that. It was either him or Delroy Lindo. Delroy Lindo is my personal favorite, but I'm just glad that Delroy Lindo got the exposure he's so long for so many, again, decades deserved. And that's something else, and I think this is where Miss Carmen is coming from. After so many decades of being denied for reasons of race, we're at a point now where you can actually see the finish line. You know, you can see where people younger than me and older than me, even though I'm 63, still have a chance. Delroy Lindo's older than I am. Look, right? Delroy Lindo decided to get his Delroy Lindo decided to get his master's degree at 63. Okay, right? Okay, right. I already have mine, but I'm thinking, God, I go to law school. I mean, not that I need to. All right, girl, or as my mom says, get my PhD, right? But I have my responsibilities here for my mom, and she hates when I say that, but folks, just your family, no matter how big your family is or small, family comes number one. I'm not going to go on a big lecture about that. I just want to say that. At any rate, okay. At any rate, I think my mom, when she hates to hear me talk, she puts on something else in the background. I'm teasing you. I'm teasing you. Anyway, okay. So actress in a leading role, that was Jessie Buckley, and there's no surprise there. I haven't seen Hamnet, but all I've heard on the awards circuit is her name. She SAG-AFTRA, Golden Globes, you name it, right? Okay. Hollywood Foreign Press was Golden Globes. And then, of course, I was thinking about the Gotham Critics Association, among others. All right. Now, actress in a supporting role, that was Amy Madigan. That shocked the blank out of me. I really thought that either Wumi Masau of Sinners was going to get that, or Elle Fanning, but Amy Madigan, maybe I was reading the wrong tea leaves, and here she's, before us, but right now she's on camera with her Oscar, thanking the cameraman for responding her. And it's amazing how people go through and you think that there'll be this huge entourage, and sometimes they're all by themselves with their Oscar. So that feels kind of weird to me. At any rate, animated feature film, that was this is the other one that this is where I didn't have my marbles in place. K-pop Demon Hunters won for animated feature film, and I had picked Zootopia. I should have picked K-pop Demon Hunters. All right. Then animated short film was The Girl Who Cried Pearls, and I totally missed that. In fact, I didn't know who to pick in that one. Casting, this is the new division, right? One Battle After Another won that one. I thought it should have been Sinners. And I'm still floored that, I've got to see One Battle After Another and take a closer look at what happened with PTA's film. Because all I know is that a number of people have talked about the talent that is Paul Thomas Anderson in my orbit for a long, long time. So maybe I was just a little too asleep at the wheel to figure out what was going on. Possible. At any rate, cinematography, winner, Sinners, and where Autumn Dorald Akpal becomes the first woman to win for Best Cinematography in Academy Awards history. We could say we're alive to see it. That is something else, folks. And she is not the first in a long line of women who were nominated but did not win the award. She won. So outstanding for her, and a testament to Ryan Coogler getting the best around him, regardless of, race or sex or anything else like that. He is a truly diverse. He has a truly diverse, talented group of people. Yes, with a healthy number who look like me, involved, and that says something. That's America, folks. All right, that's America. I gotta say, that's the way America really is. Costume design winner, Frankenstein. Shocked me again. Frankenstein. Kate Hawley beat out Deborah Scott for Avatar, Magosa Tamsaka for Hamnet, Marty Supreme's Mayoko Belzlini, and Ruth E. Carter for Sinners. And I bet if you told me, Zinni, I want you to bet $1 million on Ruth E. Carter, I would have done it thinking I know I'm going to get my money back. Well, I would have been really hurt. Of course, I would only have bet $1 million if I had $1 million to lose. So you forget that. At any rate, directing winner, Paul Thomas Anderson, One Battle After Another. Chloe Zhao, I thought, was going to take this, and I thought Ryan Coogler deserved it, but we know what happened. Because Chloe Zhao actually won at the Hollywood Foreign Press. Now, Paul Thomas Anderson won at the SAG Awards. Remember that? Okay. Best documentary film. I want to make sure I'm not missing your comments here. Nope, I'm not. Okay. Best documentary film. That was Mr. Nobody Against Putin. Now, this is really strange to me, but not when I think about it, because I was saying to my mom earlier on, I thought that The Perfect Neighbor was going to win. The Perfect Neighbor is a shocking, horrifying, real-life documentary film that was on CNN, and it's based on a story of a real-life Karen in Texas who didn't like that her neighbors were black, and she was older white woman who was widowed, didn't like that they would play in her front yard. Here's the catch, folks. They were never in her front yard. She was imagining all this. All right? And people would say, hey, look, there was nobody in your yard the entire day. In fact, there was nobody in your yard the entire week. What are you talking about? But if they played in the street, on their side of the street, she would say, well, they're in my yard. She's got a fence to her yard. All right? But that's just how cuckoo, the old saying is that racism is the ultimate mental illness. Well, The Perfect Neighbor was the perfect example of that observation. She was massively cuckoo. And then she would call the police, lie about why she was calling the police in terms of what she was reporting. And so the police would think that she's a little cuckoo, so they would never really act on it, right? Then the story escalates to where there's another imagined incident, and the woman, this Karen, whose name I'm not even going to bother regurgitating, threatened her kids, saying, hey, if you don't stay out of here, and I think she threatened to shoot them or something like that, bad. And so the kids went back and told their parents, and this one parent went over to knock on the door of that woman, and that woman shot her through the door. Okay, she was on this side of the door and got shot, dead. That stays with you. And so I understand the whole point about Putin and everything, but look, we have our own demons right here in the United States, and I think it's a good idea to put a light on them. Maybe there are people who felt that Putin was the biggest, and this what was going on here was the biggest light to shine because Putin has an uncomfortably good relationship with our current president. I get it. Okay. That's a hard call. I think that's actually worth exploring in another video. That's a hard call. I don't know what you all think about it, but that's a hard call. And thank you, 35 strong, for watching. Hello, everybody. I'm honored that you're here. Hey, if you want to buy a super chat for a couple of bucks and write something that stays there, please do. Appreciate the coin. At any rate, moving along in the list of winners here, we have the I talked about documentary films, documentary film, featured film, and documentary short, All the Empty Rooms, and film editing. One battle after the other. That also beat out Sinners, and then we have international film, Sentimental Value. Okay, and oh, by the way, hey, wait, beep, 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 beep. All right, okay, I've got a message from Oscar Grant III's father, Oscar Grant Sr. here. He wrote this right to me, and what it reads, you can't see his phone number, so I'm not showing it to you, but it says, I think this is Oscar Grant's father just texted me back about Michael B. Jordan. He wrote, I think it's great what he's doing, but I really would like to speak with him or get a message to him, Oscar Grant Jr. Let me ask, let's see here. I am on the air on YouTube. Would you like to say that that on while I am on call now. Okay, see what he says back. Yeah, so there is a good chance that Oscar Grant Jr. may be on, at least his voice. Depends on what he responds to, because we've been talking about getting together on time for some time in this way at any rate. So hey, no time like the present, right? Again, if you're not familiar with the Oscar Grant story, Oscar Grant Jr. Son is Oscar Grant III. He was murdered by BART police officer Johannes Messerly on New Year's Eve, going to New Year's Day, New Year's Eve night. And he said, yes, please. So I'm calling, this is Oscar Grant. I'm going to turn this down a bit here, folks, so you can see him. This is here, mother. Hey, Mom, Oscar Grant's dad is calling. Mom. Oh, okay. Sorry about that. Yeah. So there he is. This is Oscar Grant Jr.
Hello.
Hey, Zenny, how are you?
All right, how you doing?
Hanging in there, sir. Great to hear your voice. Great to hear your voice. So, want to get your thoughts here. Thank you for texting. And Michael B. Jordan won Best Actor tonight, and he, as you know better than anybody else, played your son in Fruitvale Station. And you said you'd like to get a message to him, and I'd like to know your thoughts as we have a good audience of people. You know, they've already on post Oscars and exchanging thoughts. But what are your thoughts about Michael B. Jordan, and what message you want to get out to him? And I'll guarantee it gets to him.
Well, my thoughts is I appreciate what he did and how he did it.
Yes, sir.
And if he had to do it again, I wouldn't tell him to change nothing.
Wow. Wouldn't tell him to change a thing.
No.
Okay. You had a chance to meet him, right? What was he like?
No, I never. I had a chance to talk to him once.
Yeah.
And he's a cool person. He's solid. He kept it real with me.
Did you do you think that there's something in the story that was left out that should be told?
Yeah,
What was that, sir?
there's a whole lot that's left out.
Yes, sir.
His father's left out.
Yes. Wow. They didn't talk to you at all?
No, I never even knew that the movie was being made.
What?
Exactly. I never knew nothing about the movie was being made. I didn't find out that the movie was made until one of the guards that came and told me, "Hey man, you know they got a movie out about your son." I say, "What?"
Well,
And then,
guards, you were in jail at the time?
yeah, I was in prison.
Okay.
I did 35. And not months, years.
Right, for something that was really not your fault, right?
Something that I had nothing to do with. I didn't do it. They brought me back and dismissed the charges.
Yes, sir. But wow. How did you feel when you found that out? That I'm sorry, Oscar, I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that burns me up.
Well, you know, that ain't even the worst part. I didn't get nothing for what happened to my son. Because of what was the lies that was told.
What lies were told?
Well, basically, I was not around. But how I'm not around and he's coming to see me in prison,
Mm-hmm.
and his mother's coming on family visit. So how I'm not around. And when he needs something, I make sure he get it.
Yeah. You're doing in spite of the fact that you were in jail for circumstances that really add up to the wrong kind of lawyer, right?
True.
Wow.
But not only the wrong kind of lawyer, a lot of people was paid to testify against me.
Have you been able to do anything about that in terms of, we're getting out of the story now? That's one thing.
No, I've never really been able to do too much about it.
Mm-hmm.
But I am dealing with it right now. And trust and believe me.
Yes, sir.
I could be one of the evilest persons in the world, but that's not gonna change nothing.
No, not at all. You always stay on the right side.
So, you know, I got out. I'll be out here helping the kids, cleaning up Oakland, all that.
Mm-hmm.
For free.
Yes, sir.
Don't get paid for it.
Yes, sir.
I don't have a problem doing it because of how things is. Of
yes, sir.
All the circumstances of what happened to my son is made me turn my whole life around to help people and not want to see their family go through what my family went through.
There's an untold story there.
Oh yeah, it's a real untold story. You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
And that's because no one ever talked to me.
Until right now.
Yep.
Well, we got a bunch of people here hearing your story right now, sir. What would you like to see changed, aside from the fact that we're talking right now, but what would you like to see changed as soon as possible regarding what's happened to you?
My son?
Yes, sir.
Well, one thing that I would really, really like to see me change.
Yes, sir.
Is how they deal with these youngsters.
Yes, sir.
This is the reason why stuff like that happens. Because they don't know how to deal with these youngsters. You know, you want to deal with them aggressively.
Mm-hmm.
And then when they get back aggressively, they wrong.
Right, which is nuts.
Now, how is they wrong, but The police is being wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And they always say 2 wrongs don't make a right.
Right.
They right about that. But 2 wrongs don't give you the right to make sure this person you messing over is going to really be messed over, because you the police, so he's going to jail. He's getting a case. He's beat up. Probably ain't going to get no money because you ain't going to be able to sue him.
Mm-hmm.
Based on they going to be talking about he assaulted the police, because they going to cover everything up the same way they did with my son.
Yep.
And Peroni,
yep.
the officer that got away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And he still got away with it. And the coldest part is they can charge that dude.
And repeat his name too, because we hear a lot about Oscar Mesley, but we don't hear about as much about Peroni, right?
No, they don't. They don't hear nothing about Peroni. But Peroni is the one who choked my son, who broke my son's ribs, and they got paperwork from the doctor saying. And Peroni made a deal with him to testify against Mesley, but he never testified against Mesley. He reneged on his deal.
What?
Yeah, he's never testified. He disappeared.
Well, how did he disappear? How did he renege on his deal? Who was responsible for that?
Well, guess what? O'Malley was the district attorney.
Ah,
that's
Alameda County DA Tom O'Malley. Yeah. No. O'Malley.
Yes.
O'Malley. Nancy O'Malley.
Yeah, the one who retired.
Right.
Well, got beat by Pamela Price.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah, she's the reason why he got away.
Wow.
But there's no statute of limitation on murder. An accessory before the fact still has the murder involved. So he can still be charged.
So we have a DA that's running for re-election right now. I suppose you'd like to see her do that, right?
Oh yeah.
Have you met her?
I'd like to see her get that spot back. She wasn't no bad DA.
No, the number of people who are rallying for her right now, among them Berkeley council member Ben Bartlett. I just got an email from him about her 3 days ago. So yeah.
Yeah, she got a lot of powerful people this time backing her, but if she get back in there, she has to do what's right.
Mm-hmm.
And not go with your feelings either.
Hey, I'm curious, have you had an audience with current Oakland Mayor Barbara Lee?
Do I?
Or have you been able to meet her or talk to her about your situation, or vice versa, as she sought you out?
Yeah, I talked to Barbara Lee. I'll be going out there working with clean up the town with her.
Oh, good, outstanding. Have you told her? Have you talked to her about that and asked for her help, or?
No, I haven't talked to her about that yet, because I had talked to Pamela Price when she was in office.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me to just give her a minute and she'll get back with me. But because of all the political things that was going on, she wasn't able to get back with me because she ended up coming out of office.
Mm. And now she's mayor, so she's going to hear this too as well. So,
oh yeah, Barbara Lee, that's one of the best persons, bro. Trust me, she's a good person.
Yeah, she is. She is.
I works with her. I works with her and the kids when they bring them out. Lulu House and all them brings them out, and they be cleaning up the streets of East Oakland, West Oakland, North Oakland. And me and my wife is always out there with them.
Outstanding. Yeah, definitely need a lot of cleaning up in that area. Hey, you also
it's being done as me and you speak, bro. Trust me, it's being really done this time.
Hey, also, I think Carol Fife. Have you been in contact with her?
And
She's a count.
Is she
District 3 councilman.
is she go hear this interview?
I will text it to her.
Hey, I want you to text it to her because I want her to know that yes, I do need your help, and it's hard to get in contact with you. I always say call you, but y'all don't answer the phone.
I'll definitely make sure she gets this. Absolutely.
And I got another message for Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, sir.
And I want this message to get to him.
Yes, sir.
I'm asking them, bro. I don't care what nobody say. I'm Oscar father. Contact me. And you know how to contact me. But I'll give you my phone number so you can contact me. 510-688-7209. I also got a book that's coming out. I'm planning on doing
510-688 again. What?
7209.
09. Okay.
I'm planning on doing a documentary, part 2 of what was done, and fix all the kinks, so that the world would know his daddy was in his life ever since he was a baby.
Yes, sir.
From birth. Regardless if I was in jail or not, I was in his life though.
Yes, sir.
And when he wanted something, I made sure he got it. I was one of them dudes that the police in prison said, "We gonna get you."
What?
Everybody, yeah, because they say I was selling drugs. So you know what I told them? Well, if you go get me, you go get yourself. Because the same thing you say I'm doing, the same thing you be doing. So I'm going to let you get me. But I don't know how you go get me.
These were Oakland police that said this to you?
No, these are the prison guards.
Alameda County?
Prison guard.
Prison, like which prison though, I'm saying?
Old folks. Back in 1986.
Okay. 1986, okay. Oh.
Yeah, but I also want to let Ryan and Michael B know I tip my hat off for y'all success. And I don't got nothing negative to say about you. But one thing about it, you can't contact me.
Now
so
they
stop
can.
acting like
They can now.
so they sure can, because they go hear it on YouTube.
Yep.
That's gonna be a shock, and a whole lot of people go hear my voice.
Yes.
And I want them to hear my voice based on me coming out of there struggling. When if something like that happened, not in a million years I wouldn't have not made sure that his mama was okay no matter where she was at.
Yes, sir.
But vice versa, it's like everybody was being madman people, and we already know what money do to people.
Yes, sir.
It's not about the money with me, bro. It's the principle. It's the respect.
Yes,
that
sir.
was my only child. So, you know, like I say, they made a movie. They did good. They still doing good. And always remember, get at me. I'm not hard to talk to.
Yeah, I don't yet know Ryan personally. Although
I know him. I done talked to him a whole lot of times.
Okay, so he knows he knows how to get in touch with you.
Yes, exactly. I done talked to him a lot.
So, cause a lot of people that I know, like including yourself, and also John Burris and Alan Michon, all know him, and these are all straight up people. So,
Yeah, and I don't know about John Byrne.
oh really?
Yeah, he's a cold piece of work when he came towards me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my God, John Burris, man, what you do? See, John owes me a phone call too. That's for an entirely other reason.
This what the world don't know. John Burns.
Yes, sir.
And his assistant at the time was Adante Porter.
Okay.
And Adante will tell you that.
Mm-hmm.
They came up to Solano prison, sat down with me, talked to me. I read the paperwork, the deed, all that. I signed it for wrongful death. John Burns went back, and once he talked to Wanda, my son's mama, the next thing you know, I got a letter in the mail saying he wouldn't be able to represent me because of conflict of interest.
Huh?
Yes. So come to find out, there's a whole lot of stuff that was said. And John Burns had knew this lawyer who was representing me at the time. I ended up finding him named Panos Logo. He went against the grain when we filed paperwork for wrongful death. But when we went up in that courtroom, it was a different thing. It wasn't for wrongful death. It was for familiarity.
Familiarity.
Yes.
What does that mean?
That means they wanted to know how close I was with my son. And
in other words, the idea is that even they were trying to
when they asked his mama, I'm not gonna lie about it because I heard it on the tape.
Yes, sir.
On two different depositions. When they asked his mama about that, she told him a lie the first time. Then she come back and told him the truth the second time. So the judge said, I don't know which one to believe, but I'm gonna believe the first one and we're gonna go with that.
Wow.
So when people that anger overpower them and money overpower them, they say things that they shouldn't say, and then they just continue doing it.
Yep.
And like I say, I'm not a bad person.
No, you're not.
Because if I was, I'd be stirring up a whole lot of stuff. Because I can.
Hey, Pastor Robinson sings your praises, and he's out there running for District 6 Council. He actually is running. He filed, so you got another voice out there.
He running again?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's giving Kevin Jenkins hell and Ken Houston hell too. So, I thought.
They I talked to both of them.
Oh, Ken Houston, Councilmember Houston, District 7?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I talked
I like
to both
Ken,
of them.
so I hope,
we were just over there on 68th and Foothill. And they did an interview with Barbara Lee about cleaning up the town and stuff.
Yes, sir.
I was over there.
Yes, sir. Did you talk to Ken about helping you out in this situation?
I'd have talked to all of them. And one thing I always get
What?
is I never get to respond back. They'll say, here go my card, call me, woo, woo, woo. And when I do, I don't get no response.
Given what
I'd have got some of everybody's card.
Yeah. Given what happened to you and your son and how it's impacted the history of Oakland and how now it's part of pop culture and now how it's wound up in movie form by two people who become astronomically successful, I would think there should be a special task force regarding what happened to you to make sure that everything is buttoned up properly, because it's not, you know, and that reflects back on Oakland, and not in a good way.
That's true. It's not. But the reason why it's not is like you said, it reflects back on Oakland.
Yeah. It's a lot of cleaning up to do here.
Oh, it's a whole lot. And what they need to do, like you just did, the cleaning up part starts with me now.
Yes, sir.
They don't got to worry about hearing his mama's story. You heard her story already.
Mm-hmm.
You seen her story on a movie. You ain't heard my story. You ain't seen my story.
Nope.
That's something they do need to hear. And trust me, it's a powerful story.
Yeah, from what I've heard from you, the times we talked, it is. And I'm happy I took this time to. There's never a week that goes by that I don't think about you and think I need to contact Mr. Grant. Like, that goes to my mind all the time, and so I'm glad the Lord put it in me to do it again. To have that in me and just say, you know what, you got an audience, use it, Zenny.
Exactly.
You
know what I mean? That's the truth, though.
Yeah. You've been through way too much.
Man, and I'm still going through it.
But you're not in prison, so that's a good thing, So.
That's the best thing in the world. I'm not in there. You know what I mean? But still struggles when it comes to my rent and all that.
Gotcha.
And still, I ain't got nothing really to get around in.
Mm-hmm.
Now, why is that?
Yeah.
When people who can help you don't want to help you.
Yeah.
And they know who they are.
Mm-hmm. Have you ever thought of relocating to a less expensive place? Because Oakland can be hard.
I'm in Oakland.
Oh. I don't know why I thought you were.
Mm-mm.
Okay.
I live close by Oakland.
Okay. Gotcha. Something, yeah. Anyway, you just answered the question there. All right.
Yeah, this is cheaper than Oakland.
Yeah, Oakland can be unnecessarily hard on cars. I mean, because they're throwing tickets at you for parking in places that really shouldn't be marked for no parking at all.
Yeah, they hard on all kind of things.
Yeah.
Right, mainly about cars on the parking. But see, where I'm at, they got a gate and everything. So you got a gate open and you come in, you can park. You got a parking space.
Yeah, it protects the cars and everything. Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to take this segment of this 1 hour, 12-minute, 58-second and counting live stream. I'm going to wait. After I end this, I'm going to have to wait for this to another 3 or 4 hours for it to save. And then I'm going to download it. I'll break off a whole new video of this segment with your name in the title, a message to Michael B. Jordan and Ryan Coogler post Oscars, and then once that'll be done by tomorrow, because that's how long it'll take. Because right now it's already 12:41 a.m. here.
Oh yeah.
12:46. I'm ahead of you by 3 hours.
I know. I know you ahead of me by 3 hours.
Yes, sir. Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts you would like to share before I let you go?
I mean, I appreciate you making this happen.
You got it.
And giving me the chance and the opportunity to let the world know that Oscar Grant Jr., the father of Oscar Grant, no, I didn't get a dime for what happened to my son, and y'all need to know that.
Mm-hmm. And this won't be the last, because once I get this up, I'll send it to you. If there's something else you want to add, you can say, hey, look, I'd like to do another one, and we'll set it up. Not a problem.
You already know I do.
Yeah.
Because I want to make sure that I hear from Ryan
Mm-hmm.
and Michael B. Jordan.
Yes, sir.
If nothing else.
Yes, sir. All right, sir. Thank you so much. God bless you.
For sure. God
All
bless you, bro.
All right. I'll talk to you later, man.
All right.
Okay. All right. See you. Well, folks, there it is. That is Oscar Grant Jr., father of the late Oscar Grant III, who was killed by originally Bart police officer Johannes Mersley, and of course, Bart, the Bart cop, Pinocchio, something like that. At any rate, it's the first time he was able to get out his story, believe it or not, in video form. This is the first time. And so, and it took this, and we talked about doing it before, just couldn't, like I said, we kept missing each other. And by the grace of God, hey, literally got him. And there's the intersection between entertainment and reality, right? Especially if your subjects are in Fruitvale Station Oscar Grant, and you gain your notoriety for making a movie about what happened to his son, which ironically didn't include him. So there's that. And it puts, when you think about the winners list of people here, people who won, the Oscar, right? And for the 98th Academy Awards, this list, it puts everything in a different relief when you start to think about what you just heard versus the winners. And they're all backstories here. A lot of the top films here are about, real life stories, or even if they're not real life like Frankenstein, they're based on the real life book written by a real life woman named Mary Shelley, right? But then also has storylines that have really, in my opinion, more to do with child abuse than anything else. So the musical score winners, that was Ludwig Göransson. Original song was Golden from K-pop. And again, I missed that. Wow, who'd have thunk it? That was where I grew up a lot. I missed that. Now, I'm looking at an interview with Ryan Coogler. And like I said, every time I think of Ryan Coogler, I think of Fruitvale Station, I think of Oscar Grant. And I just talked to his father. And that's wild. Yeah, wild. And again, this success that they've achieved has been because of what happened. A story where I remember when it happened. I remember when I dropped Emily off because there was helicopters over us, and I dropped her off. We just left the gym, and I went back downtown, and that was when the word came out that Oscar Grant was killed. Riot broke out in Oakland. I went down to vlog it. Yep. So, and of course, Best Picture winner was One Battle After Another. But a number of people, including myself, believe it should have been Sinners. The production design winner Frankenstein. Sound, visual effects, the winner was Avatar: Fire and Ash, which doesn't surprise me, although Sinners was nominated. But Jurassic World Rebirth and F1. I thought F1 was another candidate that was good for that category, could have won. Writing adapted screenplay, One Battle After Another, was Paul Thomas Anderson. And Frankenstein was nominated, written for the screen by Guillermo del Toro. A brilliant job by Mr. Del Toro. And of course, Ryan Coogler won for original screenplay for Sinners, and that was the final award that was given out. If you're counting awards, One Battle After Another won 6, Sinners won 4, I believe Frankenstein 3, And then a number of films won 2 after that. A good list. A good list. So there's the intersection of real life and the movies, right? That's what we just had here today. And they finished interviewing people in the press room. The Associated Press closed down its video just now. Now there's a video about the making of Sinners. It just came on behind me. All right. So I'm going to close this down. I want to thank everybody for watching. God bless you for your support. And please pray for Oscar Grant III, his father, Oscar Grant Jr., as he fights for the right to tell his story. And it's not something he didn't have to fight this time. He was able to tell it. I'm going to take that segment, break it into another video, put it out within 24 hours. And there you go. If you haven't done so before, please subscribe to Zenny62 this YouTube channel, and bookmark Oscar Movie News. Oscars Movie News. Oscars with an S. OscarsMovieNews.com and ZennyReport.com. Okay. And again, thank you so much for your steady viewership here on this live stream. And for those of you who are not, if you're not a member, we have memberships that range from $2 to $24 a month. $24 a month membership gives you special interviews that you won't see anywhere else, even bigger than the one you just saw, and other special offerings as well for $24 a month. I highly encourage you to join. Love to have you as part of our family. All right. And if you have a problem with reputation management, our company is Zenny62 Media Incorporated. We will repair your online reputation. Visit Zenny62media.com. That's ZENNIE 62 media media.com, and go visit. And if you have misinformation out there that someone put out there, or some AI has picked up and spread around, and you need to have it pulled back and countered, and then other content made to push it out of the way, hire Zenny62 Media. Hire my company. We will do it for you. That's what we do well. All right. Thank you, everybody. See, you just came. If you just came in and you're just joining us, we just had on Oscar Grant. Oscar Grant Jr. talking about Oscar Grant III, his son, who was murdered by BART police officers, plural, and what he thought about the success of Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan, who just won. They didn't win Best Picture, unfortunately, but a number of categories. Michael B. Jordan, Best Actor for Sinners, their path-breaking blockbuster horror film, which really isn't that, I don't think. It's a classic. But they're also the two gentlemen who made Fruitvale Station about Oscar Grant Jr.'s son, Oscar Grant III, and what happened to him. It's really his story. All right. Thank you, and live long and prosper. As a good Star Trek fan would say. All right. And please visit Zenny62media.com. And subscribe to Zenny62 Media. Also, if you're an investor in startup companies, Zenny62 Media is a Delaware C Corp, and we seek investors. Thank you. That is the stream.
You were talking to Oscar, your next box?